Hello and welcome to this week's debate of Goa Ahead. And the issue that we are discussing this week is regarding the BJP importing so many MLAs from other political parties into its fold. Whether it will really help BJP electorally or will it demoralize the cadre and the original BJP voter base. To give you facts and very glaring facts, 21 MLAs out of 40 have defected during last 4.5 years. So more than 50% of Goa's Legislative Assembly has defected. Out of these 21, 18 MLAs have joined BJP, most of them from the Congress. 2 have joined TMC, whereas 1 has joined AAP. Whether this politics of defection will really help BJP, help the incumbent, or whether people will perceive it differently. I have 4 eminent panelists with me in the studio. First, I have leader of the BJP India spokesperson, Giriraj Vernekar. Giriraj, welcome. Next, I have Professor Nilesh Borde from Goa Business School of Goa University. Then I have senior journalist and editor of Goan Varta Live, Kishor Naik Gaonkar. Kishor, welcome. And last but not the least, political analyst and educationist, Professor Manoj Kamat. Manoj, welcome. Manoj, I'll start with you.
Yes.
When you look at this number, and first as a Goan, how do you feel that 21 MLAs have defected till now, which is more than 50% of the strength of our assembly? Secondly, taking 18 of those MLAs from different political parties, including Goa Forward and mostly Congress, obviously, whether it will help the BJP electorally?
It is absolutely disgusting for me to see this kind of a frenzy rush towards the BJP or towards any ruling party from the opposition side. In fact, it is a defect of the verdict of the common Goans. And I don't see any particular reason why such kind of leaders should be believed or will be believed by Goans in the future. This has never happened before, Pramod. This is the first time in the history in last 60 years that such kind of mad rush towards the ruling party we have seen. Earlier we have seen equations of 18-19 or 19-20 seats getting shared between the ruling as well as the opposition. But never we had seen such a weak opposition who have no confidence in themselves. The height is even when the so-called intellectual MLAs or intelligent MLAs, well-educated MLAs shifting sides, and I have no problem about them shifting ideologically. But when they shift and then when they make hasty decisions, like for example the latest decision by Rohan Kaunte, he sent all his workers including his brother towards the Congress. They were in the Congress. Suddenly he realizes that BJP is a better fit for him, and then he leaves. He drops the idea of joining the Congress and joins the BJP. And we had seen the same person a month back criticizing the chief minister, criticizing the party like mad. So what are we up to? So when Goans have given you a particular mandate and that mandate was against the BJP, I have no problems when I see that people defecting on large. But when this individual MLAs resigning in the mid-term and when the term at the end of their term, joining the other parties is not an insult to the democracy, then what is it?
Okay. Nilesh, how are you looking at this? Whether this can really help BJP electorally or the electorate will be disgusted with this kind of politics?
गोवा के लोग अजीब है, so I'm not very sure about whether it will impact the Goans per se, because in our own survey we found that except for places like Panji or a little more educated place where defection was a major issue, and one found that a defecting MLA actually went on to become unsafe. I think every other place, I'm not sure if anybody is really too bothered or too worried about it, whether he's changing party or he's not changing the party. Whether it will help BJP, I think it's very suicidal for BJP per se as a party. So I'm not too sure whether BJP would succeed unless obviously they have taken, in marketing we have this concept of taking over a competitor and then killing the competitor so that the competition is out of the market. Now if something like that is happening by BJP, I mean then it's a great management strategy to finish the competition. But if it is not that and they are really planning to give them tickets, which I think will not happen or should not happen, but if they do end up doing that, I think BJP would be in for a very big surprise, which will face them very soon.
Kishor, how are you looking at it? We'll come to the BJP vote share later. But on the face of it, do you think this will benefit BJP electorally?
Pramod, I am watching all this political scenario in a different perspective. It will not definitely, it will not go against BJP. What BJP is doing is a practicality. Because in 2017, when they have taken a decision of forming the government by taking support of all non-Congress persons into the fold who fought against BJP in the elections, at that time only BJP has compromised with their ideology, with their cadre and with everything, because they know that in politics the ultimate goal is to get power. Then after, we all know that they took 2 MLAs from MGP, they took 10 MLAs from Congress, and in all that constituencies they have compromised with their cadre, they have compromised with their local leadership. And now at this juncture, they cannot suddenly go away with that. I look this as a changing scenario into the politics. We know in cricket earlier there were test matches, then one-day internationals, and now it is a season of IPL. In IPL, you have a teams name in a state teams, Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings. They are named in a state, but it is not compulsory for the players of that particular state to play only for that particular state. The franchisee which puts money on the player, that player plays for that team. This is an GPL, I will say, Goa Politics League, wherein BJP is the main franchisee, BJP has money power. They are taking all prominent players to win this GPL 2022. And if you think practically, they are going to succeed with this formula.
Giriraj, I'll come straight to you, saying that this is the politics of acquisition, and you have reduced politics to the level of premier leagues and acquiring players, the best players that you can afford, and nobody else can afford in the present scenario, and you are trying to win the league with the help of these players, seat by seat.
See, for some reasons we believe that defections have never happened, and in Goa, BJP is the only party that has done defections. I believe constitution is supreme, and if you look at any of the defections that have happened, you tell me something that has happened which is not in accordance of the law. In fact, it was the BJP that brought the anti-defection law, and I think strengthened it to a large extent. So when such a thing happens, I think whatever has happened has been in accordance of the law. Now coming to what Manoj Bab said, I really feel good that no other party is being talked about. So I think ideology is something that is expected only from the BJP, and that has always been delivered. But Manoj Bab said ki BJP taking 10 people was actually a defeat of the mandate. If you recall, there was no mandate to any political party. In fact, no pre-poll alliance also got a majority, unlike what we see in Maharashtra or what we saw in Karnataka, where despite of landing, being the single largest party, basically Congress formed the government with one of the junior most in the assembly. So I think that is what a defeat of the mandate is. Now coming back to what Manoj Bab said, I again reiterate that it was 32% that the BJP got, and nobody had the majority. So I think with we often coin this term called as the double engine of development. I think that was what drew the alliance partners. Nobody is questioning today. It is not only a Goa scenario. Somebody like Jyotiraditya Scindia, who was one of the tallest leaders of the Congress, today felt more comfortable in the BJP. You know what fight a young leader like Rajesh Pilot is fighting in Rajasthan. So if you ask me, today even in Goa, despite of all the acquisitions, the word which you have used, despite of all the acquisitions, the leadership remains with somebody who has grown through the RSS, grown through the BJP, and the same applies to our state president.
Okay, very, very interesting point, Manoj. He says that if people want to join us, how can we say no, and why do you fault us for that?
See, there is no question about people just joining. Here has been the case of massive wholesale acquisitions, and acquisitions being bought, being made by those who can buy it and those who were purchasable and then who made themselves sellable to others. Now, I have no problem in people supporting a particular party or 2-3 groups joining together post elections. Plus, please understand that BJP had got minimum number of seats compared to the Congress. Though Congress obviously was unable to keep its flock together, get more allies, and then we know because of Parrikar what happened, and then people supported him. But what we see completely today is an difference in the ideology as how Parrikar was managing the BJP and how it is being managed now. You have seen traditionally it is the Congress which made ordinary party workers the leaders, and this Congress essentially around the country has been a leader based party. They never talked about cadre. But BJP was totally different. BJP talked about nation, BJP talked about people, BJP talked about Mati, BJP talked about the local populace, and then they converted ordinary voters into party workers. It was a cadre based party. Today when you are wholesale on and wholesale rampage of going and acquiring leaders across the parties, irrespective of ideology, irrespective of their cadre, irrespective of their principles, and then getting all of them and having a hodgepodge kind of a potpourri, what else do we expect?
Okay. On that, I'll allow Giriraj to respond and then I'll go to Kishor and Nilesh. Yeah.
See, Manoj Bab, I mean, I find this very funny that whoever shifts actually shifts for a consideration. Now we spoke about Manohar Bhai Parrikar. See, even when Manohar Bhai Parrikar formed the first government, it was on the back of defection of Congress MLAs. But today, if we had not done that, I don't think we would have been able to see the governance that Manohar Parrikar gave, and he undoubtedly is remembered as the best chief minister Goa has ever had. Today we talk about ideology and people coming in. See, today you look at the tallest leader of the Congress. Do you think he started off as a Congress MLA or a Congress leader? No, he did not. I will give you another example of a BJP guy, Babush D'Souza from MAPSA. He also was brought into the party, but when he came into the party, he became one of your tallest leader, went on to become the deputy CM of the party. So I believe that just because people are getting inducted, and when we talk about people's mandate, I see these are double standards on part of whoever says that, you are cheating the mandate of the people. Whether it is Vishwajit Rane or Subhash Shirodkar or Dayanand Sopte, they went back to the people, told them that if I want to develop the constituency, I need to be with the ruling party, and people accepted it.
Okay.
So I don't see why there is such a big problem.
Nilesh, this is the argument. We have had these by-elections. People have voted them back to power. Although 10 Congress MLAs defected lock, stock, barrel, called themselves two-third, and then allegedly merged the Congress party into the BJP. How do you respond to that? That people have accepted defections, they have sent people back to assembly. So it gives a very blanket license to a political party to go ahead with this kind of politics.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the precedence that basically matters, and based on the precedence, people usually take that to be the gospel truth, and that's probably what motivated a lot of them to defect as well. My worry about Giriraj Bhai is only one. I mean, it's not about whether they've defected right, defected wrong. My problem is I can name at least 5 or 6 of them who have actually come into BJP right now, who were a part of BJP. They left BJP, came back to BJP, left BJP again, and they are back into BJP again. So it is just that these are power-hungry people who can't just remain without power. And it's that kind of a mentality. So the point is, and when he spoke about legality, let's understand one thing: politics is beyond legality. Politics is about morality, and it is not about. See, it is not about why is ideology only expected from BJP. Is because BJP tom-tommed about ideology. Yeah. So it is. I will give you a simple dichotomy. There are so many RSS leaders whom I have had a fight with. For example, you talk about culture. Is casino a part of your culture?
Our intellectual peoples are always thinking in a morality or ideology, but in politics, ultimately gaining power is an ultimate aim of every political party. Now what Giriraj said is absolutely true. If we go in a past history, in 1963 when the first elections happened, MGP and UG United Goans were the two parties who were there. When Congress entered into Goan politics, the defections were almost began at that moment. If you see, if you realize, if you just go through the past political history, it is only by way of defections Congress could remain in politics. And the MGP is the sole industry to provide MLAs for the Congress to be in power. I will give you a simple example. If we are talking about morality, if we are talking about ideology, I can still remember in 2005 when people got agitated with the planning development plan and the TCP was with Babush Monserrat. Immediately, then Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar took a decision to take that TCP from Babush Monserrat. And the implication of that decision, which has been taken to respect the public emotions, the implication was the government of BJP was thrown out of power. But what has happened later on? Babush has won the election. Whoever has defected has won the election except Isidore. Forget it. But by that mistake, BJP has to remain
You are
out
saying,
of power.
that mistake made BJP smarter.
Yes, absolutely.
Manoj,
When in 2012, when
Manoj, this is a very
BJP
interesting
again
point.
came to power,
He's saying, okay, morality and everything is good, but ultimately a political party's main aim is to be in power. And people consistently have demonstrated that we don't mind defections as long as our MLA is in power. So why should a political party be bothered?
Correct. You are right. Not that people are against defections. Now these political parties are shamelessly supporting defections. That's my problem. So and as what Nilesh said, now we have a party which talked against all this in the past, which taught us principles, which taught us morality, which taught us values, and which said that we are a party which is different from the rest, is preaching the principles which they have learned from their opposition. That's the bad thing. Today you have the same people which were bought from other parties are talking openly against the government. Today probably this will be the first government in the case of Indian political history where one minister is openly charging the other minister, and where so many scams and things are brought to light, and then there is no opposition party which is blaming the ruling party, but now we have seen number of factions and sub-factions within the ruling blaming the ruling, and the worst, the legislators and the ministers blaming each other publicly.
2 points, Giriraj. Number one, nobody wants to align with BJP because you have even engineered defections with your alliance partners. Number two, you called yourself a party with a difference, and then we see people with questionable background and criminal records in your party. How do you think your cadre is taking it?
See, I'll just come to one question of the whole morality thing that was discussed, and I really thank Kishor Bab for reminding people of what happened in 2005. I will go a step further. If we have seen murder of democracy, then it was how the governor was misused in 2005 in dismissing the government led by Manohar Parrikar. And the irony was, even now we accept that possibly the best term of Manohar was from 2000 to 2005. But despite that, despite of good governance, people in 2007, before that in the bypolls in 2005, they for some reasons believed that he was not the man to lead. And that is where it also shows that merely going on ideology does not win you elections. You also have to have the regional, regionally powerful people.
Very interesting. I have a very interesting statistics here, Nilesh. In 1989, BJP had a vote share of only 0.39%. In 1994, it grew to almost 9%. In 1999, it went to 26%. In 2002, the period that Giriraj was referring to about Manohar Parrikar's government, it went to 35.57%, which is the highest vote share BJP has ever got in Goa. In 2007, it fell down to 30%. In 2012, it went up to 34.68%, and 2017, it again came down to 32.48%. One thing, Nilesh, the statistical thing that Giriraj is mentioning, that you cannot win elections and be in power on a moral argument. In 2007, we have seen that BJP did not come to power. In 2017, also BJP lost power in spite of Manohar Parrikar being the defense minister and all. Do you think with this kind of absolutely a problem of plenty that I call it, BJP will be able to withhold, number one, their vote share, number two, their cadre.
Cadre, I'm not sure, Pramod, but vote share, yes. I think vote share will not get affected so much because that 32% would remain that, and I don't think that vote share would be touched. So statistically, I don't believe that vote share would get touched, but cadre, I'm not too sure. I think that's now that depends now on the party. So at the end of the day, if they really come up with something extraordinary and then tell the cadre, look boss, I only did this to finish my opposition. Now that the time to give the tickets is come, I'm only giving tickets to cadre based people and not to these imported guys. One never knows. The cadre can still get
very,
happy.
very interesting. Kishor, do you think after all this, taking 18 people from other parties, the cadre, would it stay with BJP and whether the vote share would stay with BJP?
See, it is a known phenomenon that BJP cadre never votes for other parties. They will shout at the ultimate, but ultimately they will vote for the BJP. Now, BJP is a party which learns from every election. See, the thing is, I know I have a experience about in media field when the computerization was held in media. At that time, all journalists were on roads to oppose that computerization. They were demanding that they will continue writing copies on paper. They will not accept this computerization. Congress, being the oldest party of this country, which has ruled most of the years at center and also at state level, they have not learned a lesson from anything. But BJP has learned from every elections. If you see, in 1984, BJP entered first time into Goan Assembly elections. They fought 16 seats in their first elections. They lost all seats and they got only 4,915 votes. In next 5 years, 1989, they fought only 7 seats. Even they could not win a single seat, but their vote share came down. 1985 votes they got. But in 1994, they have intellectually taken a decision to ally with MGP. And that decision of BJP has made a success.
Got them 4 seats.
Got them 4 seats, and their vote share has gone to 52,094 votes. Then after in every election, BJP came to know that if they ally with the MGP, then only they will succeed in getting the power. The one thing which Congress has done a big mistake, that Congress was thinking that BJP will always remain stick to their ideology of Hindutva.
This is very, very interesting.
This is an important seat. Now in 2017, out of 13 seats, 7 were Christians MLAs in BJP and 6 are Hindus.
This is very interesting.
And even now, Congress could not examine what the BJP is doing.
Manoj, this is very interesting that Congress always believed that BJP will stick to its ideology and that will be the playing field. Suddenly BJP changed the playing field and Congress has no clue what's happening.
Absolutely correct. As what Kishor was saying, that BJP is fast to learn and BJP is fast to recover its losses. And then BJP is fast to learn and also copy the tactics of the Congress. So I don't see today any particular difference between the BJP ideology and the Congress ideology. Both were drastically different. Congress was a leader-based party, BJP was a cadre-based party, but today BJP has understood that it is no longer easy to sustain and it takes time to build up a cadre. So why not go in for massive import?
Okay, very interesting. Nilesh, final thing, do you think that this BJP has metamorphosized into a part of Congress strategy of fighting election and a part of BJP strategy of fighting elections, and it has evolved a different module of fighting elections now?
Well, I think I think it's the same. It's an old wine in a new bottle. That's about it. But the unfortunate part is Indian consumers somehow like the bottle, don't really go on to check the wine inside. And so since the bottle has changed, again it probably becomes an attractive package for the people to buy.
But Giriraj, final things. Do you think it's the case that you are tried to take the best of election fighting strategies of Congress and incorporate them with the best of election fighting strategies of the BJP to attain that invincibility?
I think Lok Sabha election of 2014 and 2019 has shown that BJP has better election skills than the Congress. So I don't think we really have to learn from outside. Talking about just two closing remarks, one is just because we have a higher number of Christian MLAs does not mean the ideology is compromised. And just because we are a cadre-based party, I think with new people, a lot of cadre also will get added. And as I said, a person who is new today will possibly become a tall leader of the BJP a few years down the line. I'll just give you one example today. When Mr. Rohan Khaute was getting inducted into the party, Mr. Guru Pavaskar was there on stage because a true Karyakarta also believes that it's the nation first, party second and self last.
Okay, I'll conclude on that. I'm completely out of time. Nilesh, Kishor, Manoj, Giriraj, thanks a lot for joining. Keep watching. Go ahead.